What's going on, guys? We're coming at you with a new video, and this one is Ask Us Anything.
So we posted a story on Instagram asking you guys to ask us any questions that you had regarding parenthood, diet, nutrition, I don't know, video games, whatever you wanted. And we got a bunch of them, so we thought we'd answer them in video form.
So if you want to get in on these, follow us on Instagram, keto.connect.
Yeah.
What should be my main focus when starting keto?
Really depends on where you're coming from, right? Like, a lot of people come for weight loss. We didn't come for weight loss, though.
I think as far as main focus goes, the number one, I guess, is just reduce the carbs. Don't worry too much about restricting calories, thinking of it as a diet, being too restrictive. Start by just reducing the carbs, keep them low, learn a little bit about the foods you're eating, what's in them, the nutrition, all that type of stuff. And then over time, most things will take care of themselves. So like a lot of people start with lazy keto, they call it. You just count carbs. You eat a bunch of bad stuff that's low in carb, and then eventually your diet gets a little bit better.
We did lazy keto, I would say, to start, right? So we're doing quite a bit of Quest bars. We ate out a lot, so like fast food. Slowly, as we learned more about like nutrition and the food that goes into our body and how it affects us, maybe on an inflammatory level, we wanted to improve the foods we were eating.
How do I find a mat? You guys are a perfect couple, and Theo is a perfect mix of you two.
That is very kind. So the first thing I'm going to say is don't believe everything you see on the internet. Yeah. You see a lot of the good, but we fight.
Yeah, it's a highlight reel usually. We try to keep it more real, I think, than most, but it's still some version of a highlight reel.
How do you find a mat? So you're asking me. Well, I was desperate Sally for sure, and I dated a lot before I met Matt. Matt was like my last straw. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go on one last date and see where it takes me, but then I'm gonna quit for like a couple months because it's a full-time job. So we met online dating. We used OkCupid. People always ask if we use the free version. I don't know why, but yes, we use the free version. It's like really anything in life. You have to be consistent about it. So consistently going on dates, meeting guys, finding out what you like, what you don't like, and asking yourself, like, can this be the future father or mother of my child?
I think a really important step, though, that Mega left out is you need like a checklist that's not really possible for anyone to meet, and then you just like stick to it really hard. Like, don't vary from your checklist of the ideal guy.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends like that. So I had no checklist.
You got to be uncompromising when it comes to love.
So my standards were very low. I think I just got very lucky because I dated anyone and everyone.
And she took 2 shots before dates.
Yeah, and I was a very nervous dater, so I would always
I think everyone is.
Take a shot or two before I went on the date, so that by the time I had my first drink, which was actually my third, I was very loosey-goosey. So don't take my advice at all.
What is KetoCon like?
I feel like there's a lot of videos out there of people just vlogging their experience at KetoCon. We have a couple of videos.
To me, the one feeling I get that I don't love is that it's very much like everyone's patting each other on the back, and it's really like an echo chamber for sure. You got to be conscious of that. That's like the downside. Most of it's good though, you know, you're trying like all these new keto treats and stuff, and there's speakers. I guess the one thing I noticed that's kind of weird, I've talked about this before, is like since we're on the internet and like people know us from doing keto, they come up to us and they just tell us stories and like their life story, and I don't get to say anything ever. And I'm just like kind of like, yeah, that's great, like keep it up, like good job, I'm glad we could help you, that type of stuff. It gets tiring by the end of the day.
It's 3 days long, so it's just a lot of like chatting, having fun, eating, listening to speakers. I think it's a good experience to have once in your life.
Here's my thing. If we weren't doing this and we didn't have like a living based on keto, would we go to it? No way. If I just did the keto diet, I wouldn't go to it.
Well, we go to gaming thons.
Yeah, gaming's fun.
Yeah, keto is
diet's
fun
not
for
fun.
people.
I guess.
People use keto as their accountability, though. They've made friends.
If you want to meet friends
on
and stuff,
Instagram.
That makes sense.
Don't we have good friends from keto Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people are doing that.
You're more higher on it than I am, I guess.
Yeah.
But it also is canceled, right? It's not happening anymore.
Oh, it's forever canceled?
Yeah.
Oh. So
I think maybe they're rebranding.
what is the point of this question?
Yeah, I guess there's no point. How has a baby changed your marriage?
So this is actually something I was worried about, because the majority of couples, the first I think 1 to 3 years, their marriage declines as they have like a newborn and a child, because that added pressure and like the stress of it causes a lot more fights and like less sex and all that kind of stuff. So I was like worried about that going into having Theo, but if anything, it's like improved our marriage to the nth degree. It's something that now we have another amazing thing in common, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it should just bring you closer together, and I think eventually it does. But for a lot of people, it could be like a pain point to start because it is very demanding. And I feel like a lot of the time, the woman or the wife, the mom falls in the role of like the primary caregiver. And that can be very stressful. I would have a conversation about like that, finding that balance before it actually happens. Because you know, just set up the expectations, I think. So like if your husband works 12-hour days, you know, 80 hours a week, whatever, and you're at home all the time, just know that that's how the roles are going to kind of play out, right?
Yeah, we talked about it. Like she works less, I work more. She takes care of the baby more.
But other than that, it's like the coolest thing to be able to leave. Or like when Theo's at daycare with the nanny, we can just look at pictures and be like, we created him.
How do you manage to keep it light and fun? Do we keep it light and fun? I guess on our YouTube channel and stuff we do. I feel like I'm decent at keeping it light and fun most of the time.
I wouldn't say most of the time. Today's an exception.
Yeah, I don't know why I've been like
He's
really light
super
and fun
light
today.
and airy. He's just like marshmallow today.
Well, what you can do is start identifying what makes you not be light and fun. So like when you're on the internet a lot, social media, like just getting heated over your things that you have hot takes on, and you like a lot of stuff we just like listen to reaffirm our own beliefs and like hate the other team and stuff like that. That really gets you to not be light and fun. Watching the news obviously makes you depressed and think you're gonna die constantly. Different things like that you can avoid.
Yeah.
And usually, like, the more in my bunker I am, the happier I am. So, like, if I'm just reading, I haven't checked the internet and, like, the news and stuff in a long time, that's usually when I'm my most happy. So I just try doing more of that.
And I think that's the same as just staying present. So, like, not living in the past and not just constantly looking forward to the future. Especially, like, with Theo, that's what I've learned to do. Or, you know, when we're working, like, we're working. You know, I'm not thinking about, like, what I have to do after this. Like, we're just right here, right now, and it makes you able to like not stress.
Are you Indian? No.
Yes.
Baby stuff and sleep training, a lot of people ask.
Yeah, so this is a toughie. Because we have these unrealistic expectations of a newborn. Oh, my baby, I hope he sleeps, I hope she sleeps. But it's like, they are literally just brand new, fresh into this world. They need constant comfort, constant nourishment. Theo still wakes up at least once a night, if not twice a night, to nurse, to be with us, and he's 15 months. But as far as sleep training goes, we went 2 routes. The first, I tried taking care of babies. A lot of people recommended it. And I love the way she establishes the training and the videos and the way she helps you, like the guides. But it really didn't work for us. It's like do you remember doing it? It's like a very
you just like
slow,
shush them a lot.
Yeah, it's a slow, soft, steady method that could take weeks, months. I was doing a lot more reading, and we ended up trying ferberization, so extinction method. So you go in first time after like 5 minutes, second time after 8, third time after 10, and then 10 minutes. But they never get to like that third time. They eventually just stay asleep. Theo very early on slept in his own crib.
How do I get started on keto? I'm unhealthy and addicted to sugar and flour. Please help.
Oh, we've all been there. It's good that you're aware of it. It's good that you're willing to admit those things, like you're addicted. Like there's an intense connection to these foods and you don't want to have that anymore. So I think you've already started.
The basics of it, I would say, is like there's 2 approaches. You can either have no sweetness whatsoever, just completely cut it out. That'll probably take like 2 weeks to a month, and then you'll to some degree conquer your addiction. Or you can like have replacement foods, which won't like totally cure you of your addiction, I would say. You'll kind of still be like craving the sweet sensation, but you'll be having healthier alternatives.
Right.
And like if you're really severely you have an issue with it, like to a severe degree, I would say probably doing the replacement foods first.
To start,
Could be good. Not worrying too much, because most people when they start keto, they view it the way they view every other diet, where they're really trying to restrict calories. And you can do that for some period of time, sometimes a couple days, sometimes weeks, months, and then you end up slipping up and you have like a rebound effect. So to completely prevent that, I would say eat as much as you want, keto-friendly foods, even some replacement foods to feed your sweet craving a little bit, which you can get rid of over time.
Mm-hmm.
And just stick with that. And once you have some degree of fat adaptation, you're less reliant on carbs, it gets easier. So it's like a snowball effect. Things keep on getting easier the longer you do it.
And then you can just slowly improve on each little things, like start cutting out low carb tortillas or like store-bought, keto breads. And then just slowly over time, before you even know it, your diet will be completely different. You'll be feeling better and looking better. And so it takes a long time, right? Also have that mindset going in. Like, this is going to take a long time and that's okay. Like, it's not going to happen overnight.
There's no one size fits all type thing. So like if you've tried it a bunch of times and you just can't stick to it, maybe you do like one meal a week, like Sunday night, you have a cheat meal. Like that could be good. You got to know yourself. For some people, that's a slippery slope and they don't like that. But if you've tried just being super strict and you can't do it, then maybe being less strict is actually going to be better for you. What are your Gretchen Rubin 4 tendencies?
So I've never heard of Gretchen Rubin. So we just looked it up.
And I'm not going to take the quiz or anything. I'm just going to randomly pick what I think mine are. So there's upholder, meets outer expectations, meets inner expectations. So it's basically just the 4 quadrants of that. You're either meeting or you're resisting inner or outer expectations.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So there's the upholder, the obliger, the rebel, and the questioner.
Resists versus meets.
You're definitely a resist of the outer, but you're a questioner, I would say.
But I always have an inner dialogue where I'm like not meeting my inner expectations also. So I might even say I'm a rebel.
I would say I'm an upholder. Yeah.
Maybe you're an upholder and I'm a rebel. Comment below and let us know what you guys think you are if you've read the book and stuff.
Look at the picture next to it right there.
Oh.
Obliger, you can count on me and I'm counting on you to count on me. Questioner, I'll comply if you convince me why. Rebel, you can't make me and neither can I.
So I'm not that.
Oh. Upholder, discipline is my freedom.
So I'm an obliger or an upholder then?
I would say you're more of an upholder. And I would say I'm an obliger for sure. What would you say I am?
Obliger, probably.
Okay.
Baby number 2, when are we having it? Or are we? We are? Yeah.
I don't know why I thought about that. We're actually actively trying right now, but it's a lot harder than, it's set out to be. You can't just be like, I want to have a baby. We'll try. It happens, right?
I mean, that's how it worked the first time.
The difference coming out from already having had a child is that I'm nursing. So my hormones are different. And so I ovulate, but then there's a lot of different moving parts now that I have a baby and I'm nursing, right? Because nursing suppresses progesterone, and progesterone is super important to actually be able to get pregnant and carry the baby successfully. And so my cycle hasn't fully gone back to normal yet.
I keep seeing keto by age. Why?
I think it's just a clickbait thing, right?
Yeah, people trying to sell you stuff. How long do you think this keto venture sustains you? Do you have any future plans? Julius, come on. What is this? Come on, down.
Sustains us?
Well, I guess it's hard to really know what the world is going to look like in 10 years. So are food blogs still going to be around, I guess? I would think yes.
Yeah.
Generally, innovation goes a little slower than we think. 10 years ago, we thought we'd just be 3D printing organs at home right now. That's not going to happen, and we'd be walking around with VR glasses on, Google Glass.
Flying cars.
All that stuff will probably happen, but it's going to be longer on into the future than we think. So I would imagine in 10 years, people will still be searching the internet for keto recipes or low-carb recipes. So we'll have some means of income from this keto venture, but I mean, we'll be what, 4? I guess we'll be 40. Will we still be making YouTube videos? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine ourselves doing that. Theo's 10 and we're vlog of the day, Theo and mommy eating.
Yeah.
But
people do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess it's hard to say. To me, the people that are making those type of videos at age 40, I get a little bit of a desperation, real fame seeking vibe from them. I don't feel like we have that vibe, but let me know. Do we have that vibe? But I feel like we probably won't be doing it at age 40. Just had my baby 6 hours ago.
Eesh.
Challenges being in a multicultural relationship. To me, I don't think there was that many challenges.
I think the challenge we're facing right now is that Theo's learning Gujarati.
Yeah.
And Matt is not.
Not to be confused with Dothraki. But
so Gujarati is the language that I speak, my parents speak, my brother speaks, but Matt, I'm trying to get you to, but he's not. You're, kind of practicing.
I'm learning along with Theo, but it's amazing how much better he is at, 15 months old learning Gujarati than me.
I'll say it, 3 times and show him what it is.
And he knows it immediately.
And then he'll know it, yeah.
But I guess the only challenge is, my parents being more traditional, weren't fully accepting of mega at first, but now obviously they are.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone has little things like that. I wouldn't even attribute that really to being a multicultural problem, but I guess it was.
I think it was.
What are your go-to keto meals?
So lately I've been planning out our meals for all week long for Sunday. So we do Instant Pot curry, so with chicken and bell pepper and onion.
Maybe we'll make a recipe for that soon.
Yep, we've been doing jicama tacos, which we did last night. So
Jicama wraps.
Yep, or you can do like low carb tortillas. There's a lot of different wraps out there you can use. And then we just like made chicken like a stir fry and use it for tacos.
I mean, just like steak is common.
Steak and veggie, chicken thighs.
For lunch, a lot of the time, I'll just have like breakfast sausage and eggs.
Or rotisserie chicken.
And then there's a lot of questions about baby-led weaning and like feeding Theo his first foods.
Yep.
And baby-led weaning, I guess if you don't know, it's basically just you let the baby leads the weaning. So like he decides or something?
Yeah, so like they'll show cues of when they're ready. Common cues that you want for your baby is that he or she is able to sit upright. So when they're like eating, they're not like slunching over. They also show a lot of interest in the food. So Theo was like watching me eat, wanting to put it in his mouth, grabbing for my food. And that wasn't until around 6.5 months. So we waited a lot longer than we thought we were going to, because now the doctors say like 4 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. So we started introducing solids at 6.5 months, and we weren't really doing purees. We did some mashes, but lots of like big pieces of steak, big pieces of chicken. He loved salmon, scrambled eggs, things like that. It's definitely been a lot easier doing that because now he just eats right off of our plate whatever we eat. It's so convenient.
Yeah. I guess it's a little scary being a first-time parent because you don't really know what to expect, but now that we've been doing it for a while, like Theo will he'll just like eat a lot of stuff and he doesn't like fully chew it. And he'll has like some kind of pouch in his throat that it'll just all gather in and then he'll throw it up sometimes. Like if instead of choking,
like 3 times.
He's done it a few times. But like instead of choking, if he just like, you're scared of him to choke if he eats a lot of stuff at once. Babies are like pretty indestructible.
Yeah, so that's what made me feel at ease with all this BLW stuff is when I read about how very sensitive their gag reflexes are. Yeah. So like any little thing will make them gag, and that's a good sign, right? As long as they're breathing, they're able to cry, like they're getting air, then if they're like gagging, just let them do it.
I think it's good to exercise that as a baby. It prevents like adult choking hazard as much. All right, guys, that's it. That is the Ask Us Anything. Hope you guys liked it. If you want to ask us more questions down below, we can maybe do a follow-up video to one of these.
Okay.
That's it. Bye.